cleanup operations after a major disaster are becoming an all too familiar sight in the OECS. Communities are mobilized and government resources are deployed, all at tremendous expense. We have all heard the predictions that climate change will bring about more devastating rain events and storms, manifesting in landslides and flooding. There are two developments that should cause us to worry. Records by the World Meteorological Organization show that the decade of 1998 to 2007 is the warmest on record. Records also show that hurricanes are becoming more violent, and this is because of rising ocean temperatures. Warmer oceans energize hurricanes. The islands of the OECS are in the direct path of storms and hurricanes. As a result of climate change, the Caribbean is even more vulnerable to natural disasters. So vulnerable that St. Vincent has been ranked the second highest disaster-prone country in the world due to its high exposure and low coping capacity. Mountains like these with high elevations and very steep slopes trigger flash flooding that can very quickly overwhelm low-lying communities at the foot of the mountain. With the climate changing, rainfall can be violent and very intense.
When we have extreme rainfall, then we have a problem where the guts overflow the banks, and then you have silting on the roads. You have to clean up the roads, and maybe you have a bit of disruption to the traffic and normal way of things.
Many people build houses at low elevations, either along the coast or along watercourses or gouts, as they are known. Such locations can present a risk to lives and property, as higher seas are now pushing their way to the land. Clogged and unmaintained drains can also cause water flow from rainfall to be diverted into homes and property. In many cases, the residents are taken off guard.
You don't know that water is coming down, and you know it's sunny in town, or maybe it's overcast but no rain is falling, and then you live in a floodplain or a place close to a gut that's normally overflows bank, and the water comes and affects you, and you have no idea about how soon it would come, and it catch you off guard really. The water would bring down stones and silt and so on the road itself, and that would cause the road to be blocked in some areas, and they have to get a heavy machinery to move the silt and these stones.
This is one of 12 dry rivers in St. Vincent, also known as one of the largest on the windward side of the island. While these rivers can remain dry for months and pose no risk, heavy rains at any given time can make it difficult for villagers and motorists to commute.
Can me ride over this mile, but now me can't ride over.
How often does this happen?
Well, you have to when the rain fall heavy in the mountain.
Traditionally, heavy flooding was only experienced during the hurricane season. But in recent times, and as a consequence of climate change, devastating floods have taken place in unexpected periods, sometimes even in the dry season.
It was unusual and it was unexpected because it's the dry season. We actually came out of a dry season the previous year, and then to have these heavy rains within the dry season, no one was really expecting it, and it was not easily forecasted.
There are so many community settlements along the coast and along riverbanks all across the OECS. Likewise, there are many stories from coastal communities who have been traumatized by the sudden and violent occurrence of flooding. But with more flooding predicted in unexpected periods, residents along the riverbank must consider relocation away from floodplains. And to prevent flooding, waterways must remain unclogged.
Because we try to make it clear that when those things happen, they are the direct victims. And you know, they'll lose properties, matters of things of that sort. So if at all they embark on cleaning the guts without the government giving the instruction, but something of a community-based enforcement is going to help greatly.
Act now. Rally, rethink, respond. This message is brought to you by the OECS Secretariat with funded assistance from the United States Agency for International Development.